Good morning, dear students. In today's class, we will start a new chapter. The name of the new chapter is D and F block elements. In this chapter, we will talk about D block elements and F block elements. In class 11th, I have told you about the periodic table, and there I have told you that the periodic table is classified into 4 blocks: S block, P block, D block and F block elements. And how this classification has been done? This classification is done on the basis of the entry of the last electron. If the last electron or the incoming electron makes entry in S subshell, then the element belongs to S block. If the last electron makes entry in P subshell, then the element belongs to P block. Similarly, if the last electron makes entry in D subshell, then the element belongs to D block. And if the last electron or the incoming electron makes entry in F subshell, then the element belongs to F block. So on this basis, the periodic table is classified into S block elements, P block elements, D block elements and F block elements. We have talked everything about S block elements. We have talked about group number 13 and group number 14 in class 11. The remaining P block elements means the elements belongs to group number 15, group number 16, group number 17 and group number 18 will be discussed in class 12. Similarly, the complete D block elements will be discussed now, as well as the complete F block elements will be covered after D block elements. So what are D block elements? It's very simple. If the last electron makes entry in D subshell, then the element belongs to D block. Their general classification is given as N-1 D1 to 10 NS1 to 2. Remember, this is called penultimate shell and this is called ultimate shell or the valence shell. You know it very well that D subshell can accommodate maximum of 10 electrons. So gradually electrons will be filled in D subshell. That's why here it is written as N-1 D1 to 10, and for the valence shell, that is NS, it is written as 1 to 2. S subshell can accommodate maximum of 2 electrons. Just to create extra stable configuration, sometimes one electron will migrate from NS to N-1D, giving here 1 electron. Otherwise, there will be 2 electrons in NS subshell. Group number 3 to group number 12 belongs to D block category. And in this D block series, or for the D block elements, the D block elements are classified into 4 series. First series is 3D series. starts from scandium having atomic number 21 and finishes at zinc with atomic number 30. Second series, that is 4D series, starts with yttrium atomic number 39 and finishes at cadmium atomic number 48. Third series, that is 5D series, starts with platinum with atomic number 57 and finishes at mercury atomic number 80. Fourth series, that is 6D series, starts with actinium having atomic number 89 and finishes at copernicium having atomic number 112, that is 112. So in total we are having 4 series in D block: 3D series, 4D series, 5D series and 6D series. Now about their properties or some important concepts related with D block elements. Point first, these are also called transition metals. Now, what do we mean by transition metals? Atoms or the ions in which d orbitals are partially filled are called transition elements. The last group, that is group number 12, for which the elements are zinc, cadmium, mercury and copernicium. These are not regarded as transition metals, although these are d block elements. But these are not considered as transition metals because in their atoms or their ions, d subshell is completely filled. What we require for transition metals? D block should be partially filled or incompletely filled, not completely filled. Zinc, its atomic number is 30 and its electronic configuration is 3d10 4s2. 3d10. D subshell contains an electron. So in atoms, we are having 10 electrons in D subshell. Now just form the zinc ion, Zn+2 ion. What will happen? 2 electrons will be removed from 4s subset, giving electronic configuration as 3d10 4s0. Again, in Zn+2 ion, D subshell is completely filled. So zinc, cadmium, mercury and copernicium are not regarded as transition metal, although they are the D block elements. Then comes next point, metals exhibit variable oxidation states. More than one oxidation states are possible for most of the metals, like Fe. Fe can form Fe+2 ion as well as Fe can form Fe+3 ion. Ferrous and ferric are possible for iron. Similarly, copper can form Cu+ as well as Cu+2. Cu+ is called cuprous ion and Cu+2 is called cupric ion. So why more than one oxidation states are possible for D block elements or transition metals is very simple, because electrons sometimes can take part from NS subshell and in some other cases it is possible that electrons from NS as well as N-1d can participate in bond formation. So here electrons are available from NS as well as NS and N-1d. If electrons are involved only from NS, then the atoms will exhibit lower oxidation state. And if electrons are involved from NS as well as N-1d, then the atoms will exhibit higher oxidation state. Then comes metals or their compounds act as catalysts. In most of the chemical chemical reaction, metals or their compounds from d block elements can be used as a catalyst, can be used for speed of the chemical reaction. The reason is very simple. The transition metals exhibit variable oxidation state. So this is the reason, first reason. We have one more reason. Metals or compounds provides their surface area for chemical reaction to take place. That's why metals or their compounds act as catalyst. Then we have atoms or ions exhibit paramagnetic character. We have two terms, diamagnetic and paramagnetic. Diamagnetic substance which are weakly repelled by magnetic field. Paramagnetic substances which are weakly attracted towards the magnetic field. If unpaired electrons are absent, then the metal or the ions or the compound will exhibit diamagnetic character. And if atoms or ions or their compounds contains one or more than one unpaired electron, then the atoms or the ions or their compounds exhibit paramagnetic character or behavior. In transition metals, atoms or ions have one or more than one unpaired electron present. That's why these exhibit paramagnetic character. And the last one, metals form colored complex. There are 3 points which is to be considered here. S block elements cannot form complex. S block metals cannot form complex. But metals from D block and the metals from F block can form complex. Reason is very simple. 3 conditions should be satisfied by the metal. If a metal is satisfying 3 conditions, then and only then it can form complex. And the 3 properties are small size, high charge to size ratio, and number 3, presence of vacant d orbitals. All the 3 properties are possessed by metals of D block. That's why they can form complex, and the complex formed are colored in nature. Again, the reason is very simple. The complex may contain one or more than one unpaired electron, and this unpaired electron, by absorbing energy from visible region, get excited to higher D energy level, and when they comes back to lower state, energy is radiated, and this energy lies in visible region. That is the reason the complex formed are colored in nature. That's all for today. Thank you. Have a good day.